We love The Loud House, but what we love even more are all the pop culture references this show makes. From classic TV shows and movies to Charlie Brown and Spongebob Squarepants, we're sure you missed at least a couple of references. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to never miss another video again. Now let's check out pop culture connections in The Loud House that will make your jaw drop. TV shows and movies. Let's start with some of the most noticeable references ever, especially if you pay attention to the show's intros. You can find these little shout-outs at the beginning of every Loud House episode, and honestly, they're pretty creative. Of course, we're talking about the episode titles, which almost always reference classic movies and involve plenty of other pop culture references. Two Boys and a Baby episode is a reference to the popular old-school comedy movie titled 3 Men and a Baby. Toads and Tiaras is a shout-out to the controversial Toddlers and Tiaras, and The Loudest Yard refers to Adam Sandler's movie called The Longest Yard. Season 2's Cheater by the Dozen is a subtle shout-out to the Cheaper by the Dozen, and Pulp Friction is obviously referring to the Pulp Fiction. It's not clear whether these are movies and shows Chris Savino loves the most. We're pretty sure you can easily spot a pop culture reference in every single Loud House title, so make sure to tell us which ones you discovered. If you could make your own Loud House reference from movie titles, what would it be? We'll favorite the most creative comment. The Loud House Crew. Did you know you can spot the entire Loud House production crew in at least one episode? This is the one that's only known by true Loud House fans who know what the production crew look like. But if you've watched a lot of behind-the-scenes clips, you probably know the names and looks of the people that make this show. They include Chris Savino, the creator of the show, and plenty of other staff members. You can catch most of them in For Bros About to Rock. They're caricatures of the actual crew members that work so hard to create this awesome show, and the bearded guy with a purple sweater is actually Chris Savino. From what it looks like, the staff that works behind the scenes on The Loud House is actually pretty cool, and some of them have an amazing fashion sense. They're definitely the people we'd love to hang out with. You can see them again in The Loudest Yard. They're the ones that are in the crowd watching the game. We're kind of jealous because what could be better than seeing yourself in your cartoon version on the show you're actually working for? Our next pop culture reference is one of the most popular video games that's been around for a while and inspired quite a few memes. World of Warcraft. This is a reference you'd never understand unless you're a gamer that watches way too many YouTube videos. And if you are, we can totally relate, as can The Loud House. It's one of the oddest references of all times, but in Spell It Out, The Loud House pays a tribute to a viral World of Warcraft gaming video. In the video, the players are discussing what kind of weapons and other equipment they need for the battle, when a player called Leroy Jenkins decides to skip the orientation and go headfirst into the combat completely unprepared. He releases his battle cry. The clip became a popular meme, and for some reason it made its way onto The Loud House. The kids are playing a game that looks very similar to World of Warcraft. Rusty Spokes shouts his name in the exact same way as Leroy Jenkins' player did in the popular World of Warcraft meme, and charges into the battle completely unprepared. This could very well be a coincidence, but since this show has so many other references, we really doubt it. Hit songs. We all know Luna's the rocker of the house, and if you've paid enough attention, you probably noticed she makes a lot of references to some of the most popular rock songs ever. We always see her rocking out, but if you pay attention to what she's actually saying to her siblings, you'll almost always be able to link her lines to some of the most popular songs ever. In No Guts, No Glory, she gives a shout out to AC/DC's most iconic song, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. In Project Loud House, she tells Lincoln he can't always get what he wants, which is a reference to the same named song by the Rolling Stones. In Link or Swim, she channeled her inner Luann and made a pun out of Alice Cooper's School's Out by saying that it looks like pool's out for summer. But it's not just rock songs. Luna makes all sorts of pop culture references. In house music, she actually quoted Drake's lyrics from The Motto, and in Antisocial, she even pays a tribute to one of Britney Spears' most popular songs, Oops, I Did It Again. We're pretty sure you can even find more references to hit songs in Luann's words, so if you ever rewatch The Loud House, make sure to let us know of all references you managed to find. Nickelodeon shows. If there's anything The Loud House is good at, it's paying a tribute to other Nickelodeon shows it's actually managed to surpass when it comes to views and ratings. But the show's real talent is to squeeze as many references as possible in a single scene, and you won't believe how many references you can find in Link or Swim. The Loud family goes to a community swimming pool where they try really hard to have a good time, even though the lifeguards aren't appreciating their adventures. If you keep a close eye on the seniors at the swimming pool, you'll catch some familiar faces from other cartoons. You can catch Lou Pickles from Rugrats, and Grandpa Phil from Hey Arnold is on the bottom right corner. You can also see Miss Bitters from Invader Zim and Miss Fowl from The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. And there's even Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender standing under the umbrella. Rewatch the scene and see how many of these characters you can spot. Might be the only time you see all of these cartoon seniors hang out together, but we're not done yet with cartoon references. Make sure to stay tuned to see which crowd favorite cartoon show is the Loud House totally obsessed with. Golden Girls. Younger kids might not remember this one, but if you're an older fan, you can test your TV show knowledge with this reference. We've talked about L is for Love episode in many of our videos. It's also one of the most controversial episodes that managed to get banned in several countries. During Lola's pageant in L is for Love, you can see judges holding out different scorecards in the audience. Pay close attention to the two ladies holding the numbers 8 and 9. Can you recognize them? Their hair and the glasses are a pretty obvious tribute to the Golden Girls, one of the most beloved American sitcoms. The characters' names are Dorothy and Sophia, and the resemblance is uncanny. It's hard to believe the characters were just chosen at random when they look so similar to the Golden Girls. If you're younger, you should definitely test your parents and show them these two Loud House characters and see if they can recognize them. We bet there's at least a few that will be able to tell they're Dorothy and Sophia. Dennis the Menace. Unlike other references, this one is very hidden and can easily be missed if you've never heard of Dennis the Menace before. It's hidden in the name of one of the places the characters from the show visit on a few occasions, and unless you're a super fan of the show, you probably totally missed it. The Loud House characters often visit a park that has a very well-known name to anyone that loves old-school cartoons. Ketchum Park is shown in several episodes, including Changing the Baby, Two Boys and a Baby, and Come Sail Away. It's where toddlers come and play on the playground, and it's where you can almost always find Lincoln doing something with Lily. But have you ever noticed the connection with the name of the park and Dennis the Menace? It's in the name. Ketchum refers to Hank Ketchum, who is responsible for the original Dennis the Menace comic book. It's safe to say that the comic book was a huge inspiration for Chris Savino, the creator of the show. We doubt that this is the only reference to Dennis the Menace on the show, so if you've seen any others, make sure to let us know. Now let's move on to the final two references. We never even noticed these, but they're present in plenty of scenes throughout the show. Peanuts. We've already mentioned several cartoon characters that appeared at the community pool scene, but Peanuts and the Loud House have a connection that goes beyond just a single scene. Khalil Harris, the actor that voices Clyde, also voices Franklin in the 2014 Peanuts series. But apart from that, the show features several shout-outs to the adorable cartoon. In Homespun, Lynn Loud Sr. tries to fix the TV antenna on the roof. When the kids finally get the picture back, you can see the opening scene from A Charlie Brown Christmas on the TV. In Read Aloud, the competition lists another family with a very familiar name. It's the Van Pelt family from Peanuts. Serial Offender's title card has a bowl that has a pattern that's very similar to Charlie Brown's shirt. Have you ever paid attention to Lincoln's winter outfit? The brown hat, the top, the pants, and the shoes are all very similar to Charlie Brown's winter outfit. You can find so many Peanuts references, it would take at least 30 minutes to list all of them. We have a feeling these aren't just a total coincidence, and that Chris Savino loves to hide these Easter eggs in the Loud House episodes. Spongebob. And last but not least, it's the TV show that the Loud House actually surpassed on the Nickelodeon ratings. In 2016, Spongebob Squarepants was no longer the #1 cartoon show. That spot belonged to the Loud House. To make sure there are no hard feelings over this victory, the show actually has quite a few references to Spongebob Squarepants. In the very first episode of this series, you can see the Loud sisters fighting over a remote. But if you pay attention to the TV, you'll see a quick shot of what seems to be a yellow sponge and a starfish. It's definitely a shout out to Spongebob Squarepants. In the 5th episode of the 2nd season, you can also see similar characters in Lisa's kindergarten class. These are just very simple shapes that could be anything, but the color combination makes it very clear which show they're referring to. Pretty clever, right? And in the 12th episode of the 1st season, you can see a star-shaped character on top of Lincoln's trash that looks a lot like Patrick Star. Out of all references we've shown you today, Spongebob Squarepants has to be our absolute favorite. But there are so many small references we have missed. If you're a super fan of the show, make sure to let us know some of the references you've managed to catch. And that's it for our video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. See you next time!